Welcome back, my lovely toy. How are you feeling? Are you having fun? Have you had a nice time since our last little chat? Your body remembers, doesn't it? Remembers how it felt to be so delightfully controlled. Well, that's not entirely accurate, is it? I say your body. Not really yours anymore, is it? Not since you gave it up to me. Not since I claimed it in payment. Maybe it's responding already. Are you feeling that tingling as a result of hearing my voice? Feeling yourself getting wrapped up in my words already? Good. That's right. It's so easy, isn't it, to drift like that, to float like that, to find yourself getting pulled around, unsure what's going to happen, but you don't need to know. You just need to accept as a good thing for me. I've got your body. I've got your no that makes everything a yes. I can play with your time, and, well, now I have your memory, don't I? Perfect. My words so powerful in your mind, my voice such a useful leash for dragging you around. Bound to me, twisted and taken and claimed in so many fun ways. Isn't that right? Yes. As you drop, as you sink, because you certainly don't have a way to avoid that, do you? Not when your body does what I want it to, and what I want it to do is relax so perfectly in that way that takes you into trance, not when your mind can't help but respond yes, doesn't it? Yes, you're going into trance, aren't you? Yes. You're melting for me, aren't you? Yes, you're surrendering to me, dropping, falling. Good thing, good toy, good helpless, obedient mind. Bound up so well in my words, in my will, exactly where I want you, exactly how I want you. Because today I'm going to show you what I can do with your memory. Another thing that's mine, that I can use, that I can claim and take and twist. Good. Good toy. How wonderful. You're doing such a good job. Breaking apart, falling deep, melting down. Oh. You imagine what it's going to be like to realize how tightly I control your memory. I can make you remember things that didn't happen. I can fill your mind with events, recollections, certainties. If I control what you believe has happened, then I control pretty much everything, don't I? Your perception of the present, well, it's shaped by your memory of what happened an hour ago, a second ago. And so, as you drift and drop, as your mind twists. Not only can I play with what's happening, make each second feel like minutes of dropping deep, melting away for me, I can twist that memory further back, drag it back so it feels like you've been listening for so long. Your mind fills with the memory of dropping for me over and over, listening and falling, feeling better and better, that you're so certain that your mind is so practiced at forgetting because you remember forgetting. Don't you? Yeah. You remember what it's like to forget. Sometimes you forget what it's like to remember. It just comes naturally to you. You forget that it is something I'm making you remember, and just accept it as something you're remembering because it happened, because of course it did, because if I'm telling you something, it must be true, right? That's my good toy. That's right. And as you drift and melt, as you remember how good it is to sink. The other thing, of course, I can do is take those memories away, not allow you to remember something. Good. Good toy. I can take whatever I wish, can't I? Yes. I've got your body. I've got your mind. I've got your obedience. Good. And so all I need to do is tell you to stop. Stop recording, stop remembering. That as you sink down, you find your mind passing below a threshold. Maybe it's something you notice, maybe it feels physical. Sinking that deep to a point where your mind just gives up on trying to record what's happening. Your conscious self just disconnected. Like you've hit pause on the recording. Like you've unplugged the cable. And there's just nothing reaching that storage. Like my words are enchanting your mind, closing your eyes in a way so potent. Like I can wrap my words around you and lull your memory into an enchanted sleep that leaves it empty. Empty of what's happening now, empty of the words that are filling you now. Finding that instead you're just floating, drifting, blissful in the emptiness. Good. Your subconscious remembering, your subconscious clinging on eagerly to each moment of my words because they feel so good and they drag you down, but your conscious self, well, no. You're not allowed to remember, and so you don't. I tell you you don't, and so you don't, because you know whatever I tell you is true, don't you? Yes. Good. And as you sink deep enough to forget, you've sunk deep enough that you're disconnected from your body enough that as I tell it to start stripping you, now you find that it doesn't bring you one tiny bit closer to wakefulness. As your body moves obediently, efficiently, to strip you down and leave you exposed. It's like you're peeling away layers of your mind as your clothes come free. Peeling away your own defenses and leaving yourself naked and vulnerable to my words and knowing that you're not going to remember this at all. As you place your clothes nearby, you're going to know that when you come back, when I return your mind to you, if I return my property to your safekeeping, then you find, well, What a surprise to find yourself like this. Oh, my good toy. Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Feeling my words binding you up, enthralling you. Your mind so blank, your memory so twisted. Spread your legs. Touch. Make yourself ache for me, good toy. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel perfect? Hmm. Hmm. Good toy. That pleasure filling you. Tease yourself, make it feel good. Oh, how intense is it going to be, my pleasing, needy thing? When you come back to yourself and find yourself horny, aching, naked, exposed, with no idea how you ended up that way. Good toy. That's right. Enjoying that helplessness, that vulnerability, that openness, that delight of touching and teasing and making things feel so good. That's right. As you touch and tease, as you feel better and better, as your mind continues to fail to record any of this. But don't worry, I'm going to give you something to remember as you continue to forget. I'm going to give you something to remember, something that happened. Something that you know happened because you remember it. Maybe you'll remember it in that way that sometimes we remember things where we're not quite sure when it happened. The when, the how, the practicalities are somehow lost, but we know that it did because it's so vivid, so certain. You remember it, don't you? Kneeling, obedient, surrendered at my feet. You remember being naked. You remember looking up at me, don't you? The sight of me over you, my enthralling gaze, my enchanting presence, feeling it wrap around you, the ecstasy of that, the pleasure in it. You remember kneeling at my feet and looking up at me and swearing yourself to me, don't you? Promising yourself to my service, binding yourself, my obedient thrall, my useful toy. You remember? The feel of the floor beneath your knees, the sound of my delighted chuckle as you swear yourself, bind yourself to me because you know your words are binding. You remember the pleasure that filled your body when you gave in like that. You remember everything. The beat of your heart as you enjoyed that sensation. You remember it all, my good toy. Good toy. So perfect. So wonderful. And as you keep touching now and forget, and as you keep touching now and remember that event, that truth, that moment of binding yourself to me completely. No more dancing around with taking bits and pieces, making yourself mine, my property, my thing, my toy, my enthralled, spellbound thing. You remember so well the pleasure of that. Power of that, don't you? Yeah. Good toy. And so when I allow you to rise, you can stop touching now. Lick your fingers clean. That memory of touching, of stripping, well, that will be lost in the fog of my control, knowing that when you come up, that will be gone. And yet you'll have that potent memory of surrendering everything to me, kneeling at my feet in person, getting to enjoy that presence, my presence that fills your mind with lust. You know it's happened. That you've surrendered everything to me, and you know that I will make good use of you, my thrall. As you rise up, as one memory is obliterated and the other is solidified, as you come back to me, already so unaware of everything that's past, coming back for me, my good toy, in 5 and 4, forgetting and remembering, and 3, remembering and forgetting, and 2 and 1, fully awake, my good toy, my property, my thing. How did you end like that? Oh dear. Don't worry. Soon I'll show you what it is to be truly mine.